Great. So we're going to begin our YES-PACT Learning Series event for today on TVET Teachers Industry Attachments. Just a quick house rule: if you'd want to speak or anything, you can always unmute yourself after the speaker or the panelist have, addressed or presented. And if you'd have any concerns or anything to share with us, you can also use the chat box, or you can use the reaction buttons, and we'll be quick to respond and address to everything that you would want to communicate. So at this point, we'll just go ahead to begin today's events, which is on the TVET Teachers Industry Attachments, featuring Mr. Bizune from Ethiopia, who will be sharing on their experience with us. And just to talk a little about that, I'll just go ahead to introduce myself. My name is Akoto Tamakoda Bradelasi. I'm a research analyst and a YES-PACT coordinator here at the African Center for Economic Transformation, ACET. And today I'll be moderating today's event. So I would want to go ahead to talk a bit about the YES-PACT Learning Series. The YES-PACT chapters, usually organize a series of regional webinars as part of its knowledge sharing and learning initiative, providing a platform for members and policymakers to discuss effective policy solutions for challenges faced by our member countries. And this time, for the first time in 2024, we are having Ethiopia host the YES-PACT Learning Series, which happens to be the third YES-PACT Learning Series that we are having within the chapters of the YES-PACT. So at this point, I'll just go straight to acknowledge the few policymakers or specialists and industry experts that we have here. I would first introduce our speaker for today's event, who is in the name of Mr. Bizune Adugna from Ethiopia, and he is into the Technical and Vocational Training Institute under the Ministry of Labor and Skills in Ethiopia. So if Mr. Bizune, if you can hear us, you might want to say hello to everyone. Hello, Mr. Bizune.
Hello.
Hello, great.
Hi, everybody.
Great.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. Thank you. So I would go ahead and introduce our panelist for today, who happens to be in the name of Dr. Kone Kokosiaka from Cote d'Ivoire, and he's a researcher at the National Pedagogical Institute of Technical and Vocational Education. Hello, Mr. Koko, if you can hear us. Sorry, Dr. Koko, if you can hear us, you might want to say hello.
Yeah. Merci infiniment. Bonjour à tous et c'est un réel plaisir d'être avec vous ce matin.
Thank you. So our last panelist, who happens to be in the name of Meswe Abba Maruna, who is not in at the moment, but hopefully he'll be joining us in the course of the event, is an executive at the General Directorate of Orientation and Professional Integration with the Ministry of National Education, Literacy, Vocational Education and Promotion of National Languages in Niamey, Niger. So he'll be joining us later. I would also want to extend a warm welcome to our other YES-PACT chapter members and the entire YES-PACT chapters in Ghana, in Ethiopia, in Niger, Cote d'Ivoire, Rwanda, and Uganda. You're all welcome. I would want to go ahead to introduce Mona Idrisu, who is our head for youth employment and skills here at ACET, to give us an opening remarks to begin today's event.
Thanks, Debbie, and thank you for moderating. Welcome to everyone, and thank you once again for joining us for our learning series. As Debbie said, this is the third one in the making, so we're hoping to keep having these series one each quarter as part of our YES-PACT initiative. So just an overview for our people in the audience who are not familiar with the Pan-African Coalition for Transformation. It's ACET's the do aspect of the work that we do. We're primarily known for our research skills, but we also have our policy engagement angle. And this is what the PACT serves to do, where we bring together key stakeholders, policymakers to dialogue and problem solve towards common issues that they're facing. We currently have country chapters in all the 6 countries that we work in. That's Ethiopia, Ghana, Niger, Cote d'Ivoire, Uganda, Ethiopia, and Rwanda. Now, for this edition, we're going to be discussing today the importance of TVET attachment, industry attachment for TVET teachers and trainers. As we are all aware, there's increasing recognition for the importance that technical vocational education plays for both addressing youth unemployment and also bridging the skills mismatch that we're witnessing on the continent. And it's a gateway for us to be able to properly provide our young people with the skills that they need to be able to thrive in the world of work, particularly if we are, as a continent, serious about industrialization and economic transformation. For us to be able to build the human capital that's required to drive such transformation, TVET will need to play a central role. But in most of the discussions around TVET, we often hear about the importance of industry attachment and workplace learning for students. But what about teachers? How do we expect teachers to provide the training they're going to give to young people or to students if they themselves have not been able to benefit from industry attachment or workplace learning themselves? And that is compounded by some of the competency issues that teachers themselves face in TVET, in the area of TVET. Unfortunately, TVET teachers often lack the equipment, state-of-the-art equipment that they require. The training, unfortunately, ends when they are done training. Lifelong learning isn't adequately resourced. So we find that for a number of TVET teachers, if they don't take the initiative themselves to keep upgrading their skills, there's no systematic provision available to ensure that TVET teachers have the in-service, ongoing in-service and lifelong training that they need to stay on top of the quick and fast-changing world pace at which the world of work changes. So we also see that in a number of African countries, TVET teachers are often lumped together. When we talk about teacher training, TVET teachers, unfortunately, are lumped together with regular school teachers. And I say regular to mean traditional schooling system. So there isn't systematic or there isn't standalone facilities to give TVET teachers the required training that they need to be able to adequately deliver in the classrooms. And as you're aware, traditional teacher training is often very theoretical, but for TVET requires hands-on practical training. Again, we see the teacher-to-student ratio in some parts of Africa, in Tanzania, for example, and in South Africa going as high as 50-1. 50% of teachers, again, in some of TVET teachers in some of these countries, unfortunately, go straight from teacher training colleges into the classroom without adequate industry exposure. So today we have the honor of hearing from Ethiopia, hearing from a presentation from Ethiopia that has rolled out their teacher industry attachment program. I, for one, am keen to hear, and I'm glad that we have our audience from other countries here. And the idea is that we're able to share knowledge, and then we're able to see in which way our policymakers in the room can adapt their own systems to ensure that we're adequately preparing TVET teachers with the skills that they need to pass on to young people. So I'll stop here and welcome everyone once again. Thank you for taking out your time to join us. And we hope you find this discussion interesting and useful. And as Debbie said, please feel free to keep the conversation going in the chat, even though we'll have a Q&A session later on. So thank you once again. Debbie, back to you.
For opening remarks from you. At this point, we would have to go ahead and introduce our main speaker for today, who will be presenting on TVET Teacher Training Industry Attachments. So I have the honor to introduce Mr. Bizune Adugna, who is a TVET Teacher Training Specialist from the Technical and Vocational Training Institute in Ethiopia with the Ministry of Labor and Skills. Just to speak a few things about Mr. Bizune, he actually has very rich experience, more than 42 years on the TVET sector, and he has worked as a dean, a manager, a deputy director for academic affairs, a director for Center of Excellence of Engineering, advisor for State Ministry of TVET, and an advisor for Director General of Federal TVET Agency. Currently, he is working with the Federal Technical and Vocational Training Institute as a TVET specialist and industry liaison officer. He has also participated and presented different papers on TVET at international conferences held in Germany, China, South Africa, Philippines, South Sudan, Mozambique, South Korea, Kenya, Tanzania, India, Uganda, and Italy. Such a rich experience. I have the honor to introduce Mr. Bizune Adugna, who is going to be taking the floor from here. You're welcome, Mr. Bizune. You have the floor to present. Hello, Mr. Bizune. You can go ahead and unmute yourself and to begin your presentation. Mr. Bizune, can you kindly unmute yourself? If you're speaking, we can't hear you. Please unmute yourself using the button. Hello, Mr. Bizune. We can't hear you. I'm sorry, we can't hear you. Can you kindly unmute yourself? You'd have to use the button.
Can you hear you?
Perfect, perfect.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now. You may proceed.
Thank you. Thank you, Deborah, and also Mona. And nice to come to this discussion floor. I'm very glad by getting this opportunity to present some issues on this TVET Teachers Industry Attachment, mainly in Ethiopia, specifically in Federal TVET Institute. Have you seen me? I'm seen for everybody. I'm okay.
Yes, you're good to go.
Okay.
It's okay.
What about the slide?
ይሰማል ስላይዱ ይታያል ስላይዱ ይታያል አቶ ብዙነ
ስላይዱ ወቀቃለ
ይታያል ቀጥል
Okay. The content of my presentation has some 8 topics: introduction, TVET industry attachment, teachers industry attachment, objectives, experience from the world, experience from Ethiopia, how to motivate industries for attachment, and conclusion, finally, I will also try to give the way forward. Under introduction, I want to see the main goal of education. The main goal of education has been focused on mainly some three things: access, quality, and the relevance. However, recently, the target has shifted towards achieving a successful completion rate and the employability or job creation, mainly for higher education and the TVET. These two areas are the main focus: completion rate and job creation or employability are the most important thing. Nowadays, the workplace is the most authentic learning environment to train a competent workforce. The workforce provides a context for learners to transfer vocationally and socially meaningful knowledge and the skill. Industrial attachments enable learners to have access to experience that only the workplace can offer. Experiences that only the workplaces can offer. The students or the trainees can only able to get this knowledge and the skill from the real world of work or from the industries. Placement of trainees in the workplace would potentially give way for employability on completion of a training program. The academic, when we see the teachers industry attachment, the academic staff that have been recruited after completing study did not have a solid hands-on industry experience. As Monica tried to explain now, those who completed their academic knowledge or academic training or education, they have no hands-on industry experience. So when they come to TVET Institute, they face a problem of training practically the trainees. TVET practitioners are often criticized for lacking up-to-date relevant experiences and the knowledge, particularly in relation to technological advances and the ways of working in modern workplace. Now, the technology is going fast and the workplaces are changed from office or from one class to different areas. So to cope up with this, there is a great problem for teachers. This gap is observed in their teaching and the learning processes, adversely affects the quality of their training. Industry attachment for teachers and the trainers has not given due attention at the policy or organizational level. Initial preparation programs for TVET teachers have been largely on the TVET pedagogy and less on industry skills. Mainly the focus of teachers' development is on pedagogy line, the methodology of teaching. But the industry attachment, the industry skill, even the industry attitude is not included in the most TVET training pedagogy. TVET practitioners must learn about at least three things: new and emerging developments, what developments, technological developments. Many technologies are developed now or developed this time, so they have no such knowledge. Changing work cultures, competency requirements in their industry areas, so that they are better equipped to train their learners. Teachers' industry attachment is named differently in different countries to foster arrangements allowing TVET practitioners to prepare and update their skills mainly in different countries. For example, in Asia and Africa, they called it industrial attachment. And in other, Finland, on the job learning for teachers and the trainers. And Australia, return or back to industry programs and industry placement or secondments in United Kingdom. So the teachers industry attachment may name differently in different names, but the main purpose is to boost the skill and the knowledge of trainers by bringing them back to the industry. Three main sources of change have impacted on the teachers' training, especially Atwell mentioned these three areas. One, the reforms in the TVET policy and the practices. When the TVET policy changes, that impacts also the teachers' capacity, the teachers' method of training, and the like. The other development in TVET pedagogy and training methodology changed with technology. So this also have a great impact on the teachers and the change in industry, especially fast growing industry, fast changing industries also impact the training of TVET teachers. TVET practitioners or trainers play a critical role as a connective specialist between theory and the practice. While they train, they must have theoretical background and also practical background. By doing that, they are connecting the education and the training to match with the labor market demand. TVET teachers or trainers play a critical role as a connected specialist, as Young and Gart said, to contextualize the both theory and the practice. What should in this picture we can see, what should TVET teachers do? The TVET teachers should narrow the current gap between the world of education and the world of work. The main purpose of TVET teacher should fill this gap, to bring the education to the world of work. The general objective of teachers industry attachment, the overall objective of TVET teachers industry attachment is to enhance their hands-on skill and the practice oriented and increase their engagement in research, technology, and the industry extension or community service, thereby can play role designed to them. Mainly, the role of the teachers can be seen as producing competent workforce for the industry, to transfer technology to the industries, and to provide community or industry service. So to play this role, the teachers should have some industry experience through their training. Specific objectives are some 6 objectives are already mentioned here: to improve and sharpen the instructors' practical skills, to develop problem solving, management, communication, and presentation skills, to widen the perspectives of instructors and enrich their work training with real world problem solving, to understand the current scenario, need, and the day-to-day operations of the industry, to strengthen alliance between the TVET college and industry, to foster research and the technology transfer culture into local industry, to provide meaningful support to the industry, so industry extension service. So these are all the specific objectives why we are trying to implement teachers industry attachment. As experience, I have identified some countries for their experience. One is Germany, especially Germany, Austria, and Denmark are the countries who implemented the dual system. This dual system created strong links between the industry and the training fraternity, especially Germany is seeing dual system, especially TVET training itself is as one of cultural activity. It has long history in the country to be implemented. Countries which are a dual system, classroom teaching and workplace instructors engaged in TVET training. Mainly in these countries, there are two different teachers. One is classroom teacher, which is found in the TVET schools, and the other is instructors who are found in the industries. So these two peoples from school and from industry are participated in the teaching learning process in the dual system. Another is Finland. In Finland, mainly they call it in service training. In service training, requirement of 5 days a year and months on the job training is also there. So they are also implementing teachers industry attachment by at least 5 days a year, and also on the job training in different months. In China, teachers in vocational schools are required to undergo 1 month training in industry each year. Each TVET teacher required to undergo a 1 month industry attachment, or 2 months every 2 years for their career progression and the promotion. Even they consider teachers industry attachment as a promotion criteria or as a career development criteria. Australia is a return to industry model where the trainers back to industry to acquire new knowledge and the skill up to 10 working days. Are also like Finland, 10 working days are allowed for teachers to go back to the industry and get some knowledge and the skill with newly introduced technologies and the technology implementation. The TVET practitioners, trainers are to organize their industry exposure themselves. Also, India implemented this teachers industry attachment. In India, 2 models of industry training is undergone. One model involved graduate teachers in engineering spending 1 month in industry. The second model involved teachers spending on 1 month in industry after 6 months repeating their training in another industry. Malaysia also implemented this teachers industry attachments. Malaysia followed 2 approaches, industrial attachment and the staff exchange. Staff exchange. Thus, the teachers go for industry attachment to the industry, and also industry practitioners come to the school for training. This lecture industrial attachment programs scheduled between 3 to a maximum of 6 months and is conducted throughout the year. When I come back to our experience, our institutes also currently on implementing this teachers industry attachment. We developed guideline for teachers industry attachment. After having this guideline, we signed with memorandum of understanding with the industry by identifying duties and the responsibilities of the 2 parties. The attachment is for at least 4 to 8 weeks. It means 1 month to 2 months for one teacher. During training, for those having less than 3 credit hours are mainly able to go for this internship. If they are loaded in semester break and summer breaks for the having a lot for those who have high load can go for this attachment on summer break or semester break. The 9 months report shows even it is not only in our institute nowadays, in Ethiopia, we have already started introducing teachers industry attachment. From the 9 months report, I found about 2,675 teachers have gone industrial attachment in the country. So many colleges and in many regions, they have already started this teachers industry attachment. So they are most of the Ministry of Labor in this field, and also colleges are already aware of the importance of this teachers industry attachment. Especially in case of our institutes, we have different bodies to follow this attachment. The first one is Senate. Senate is the one who decided on the academic matters. Senate approved and amend the guideline if need be. Industrial attachments, even the institute have a directorate on the director level. Industrial attachment directorate is signing memorandum of understanding with industries, dealing with industries, and signing MOU, establishing committee for selection of teachers who are going to industrial attachment from different departments, follow the implementation of the attachment. There are also faculties who are following prepare plan for instructors industrial attachment by year and by semester. Departments are identifying the instructors, communicate with the industries, and arrange a visit to the industry before the attachment. What they have, what they don't, what area is more important, they are trying to identify ahead of time. The instructors select the industry before going for attachment. They identify the industry, even the area where they want to work. Then they go for attachment. After attachment, they are reporting, they are giving feedback. Even finally, they are they obtain a certificate from the industries. While back to the institute, based on what they have able to observe and what they have already practiced in the industry is presented to the staff, teaching staff in the department. For example, this is just to manage my time. I tried to collect some few pictures. This is teachers at one industry. This is prime meat and the food product factory. This is a factory out of Addis, some 47 kilometers out. But these people are from manufacturing department. One is on a doctoral level. One is the shop assistant. One is the department of manufacturing. So even these guys are go for industry attachment. They are now identifying what the industries are, what is the limitation of. It is not only to know, it is not only to get a skill, but also the teachers on this level, especially the doctoral level, the master's degree level teachers can even support the industries or maintain different parties on the designing or manufacturing anywhere when they go for industrial attachment. This is also a teacher from automotive department. This is Amro Motors Engineering Workshop, is on testing different materials and parts of the car, especially to organize, to arrange, and also to have skills, knowledge, and the culture of the industry. Another important thing, I think, is motivating industries for attachment. The industries should be motivated because in most cases in our country, the industries are not have willingness to accept trainees, especially for attachments. They are raising the issue of raw materials. They are raising the issue of broking of machineries. They are also raising the issue of time wasting. So because of that, there is a problem on industrial attachment. So at least something should be done to motivate industries to be part of this attachment. So as I think it is important, I identified some core areas. One is giving rewards or recognition, for example, certificates, trophies, and the like. You can able to give them at least a certificate for industries who are accepting teachers' attachment in their industries. The second one is promoting their products or services through different TVET medias. We have different medias, the TVET, even countries as those who are doing good can be promoted in radio, website, exhibition, flyer, brochure, newspaper, and different banners. So by promoting their products, the industry may be motivated, interested to cope up, to work with the TVET Institute. The other is experience changing or experience sharing sessions among industries so that those industries which are best performer can share lessons with the other industries and also with the institute. So by arranging experience sharing programs or sessions, it is possible to pull the industries to the institute and possibly able to cooperate or collaborate in different activities. And the other is giving training, especially on the teachers industry attachment program. The teachers can identify different gaps, different problems in the industry. So by identifying these problems, they can able to offer training for these industries. So offering the industry with opportunities to be get knowledge and the skill which they are lacking by itself can motivate industries to work with the institutes. This experience is even the experience of got from different areas. For example, this is the Philippines, especially TESDA Training Center. In that center, there is one workshop which is filled with Samsung materials.
I think at this point we're losing Mr. Bizune a bit. We're going to wait within some few seconds to see if he's able to recover from the internet disruption. Okay, so Mr. Bizine has logged out. We're just going to wait for some few minutes to see if he's able to get back in time with us to be able to complete his presentation.
Yeah, sorry. He has faced the
Hello, Mr.
problem of
Murray.
internet. Yeah, he has faced the problem of network. Yeah. So he has, of course, he has left with one slide, conclusion part.
Okay.
I think let us wait a few minutes if it's possible.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Barry. Okay, hello everyone. So just to catch up a bit, in order not for us to be able to lose him completely and not to while away the time, I would go ahead to introduce one of our first panelists, as Kojo is displaying the last bits of his presentation. I would go ahead to introduce or reintroduce Dr. Kone Koko-Siaka. He is a researcher at the National Pedagogical Institute of Technical and Vocational Education. So if we do not have, okay. Hello, Dr. Kone, can you hear us? Are we audible now? Hello, Dr. Kone. Please, can you hear us?
Oui, maintenant c'est bon, je vous entends.
Ah, d'accord, c'est bien. Alors maintenant, on va continuer. I would like to reintroduce Dr. Koko-Kone Siaka, and he's going to just to give us a brief remarks about the presentation so far while we wait for Mr. Bezune to conclude on his presentation. Would like to hear a little from you in terms of the state of Côte d'Ivoire when it comes to TVET, and based on Mr. Bezune's presentation, would like to know, with your experience in vocational education, what innovative practices have you observed or implemented that significantly enhance the relevance and quality of TVET programs? And also, how do these innovations address the gap between skills and thought in TVET institutions and those demanded by the modern workforce? If you can hear us, you can proceed with sharing your remarks and also just giving us a bit.
Yeah. Sorry, Deborah, he has come back.
Oh, sorry. Okay. All right. So, Mr. Bizune, Dr. Koko, you might want to hold on for now on the question. Mr. Bizune, you can go ahead and complete your presentation with a conclusion, and we'll just wrap up on that. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm also arrive at conclusion. The capacity of TVET system to provide high quality and the relevant training depends largely on the quality of its teachers and the trainers. This is now recognized in almost all countries of the world. The quality of teachers is also able to determine the quality of trainers or the graduates. Academic qualification will no longer be a sole criteria for the academic staff. Simply having academic, master's, doctoral level, whatever, it is not the sole criteria for the academic staff. From now on, this industrial experience and the technological competency will be the main factor for consideration. So this time it is very important to work with industries through different methods, internship or industry attachment and whatever. Without suitable industrial attachment, trainers may be compromising the quality, relevance, and the recency of industry skills requirements. Finally, just want to make some remarks to be good in the TVET implementation. One of the important things is establishing industry advisory board. Establishing industry advisory board or committee is a very crucial and important thing, especially on the departmental level or on faculty level. If the industries become as a board member, they can able to work on the curriculum, they can able to work on qualification, they can able to identify what they demand, the need of the industry. So having industry advisory board is very important. Another thing is institutionalizing industry attachment. This industry attachment should be worked in all departments throughout the industry, throughout the institute, especially when we say in TVET institutions, all the management should be also work on this, and the teachers and trainers should be also accepted and able to participate on the industry attachment, and the industry's management, their trainers, industry trainers, their staff, should, even the unions, the chambers, and the like, should be also part of this attachment. They must help or assist this industry attachment, and also the students should be part of the industry attachment, especially in Ethiopia. We call it cooperative training, where the trainees go to the industry for their attachment. So students must be part of it. So I'm trying to show this all should be cooperate, coordinated, and work together as much as possible to change the workforce of that country. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Bizune. Such a great presentation and very much detailed insight on the experience of Ethiopia in the TVET industry teacher training attachment. So at this point, Mr. Kone would have to come back to you on the questions and a few remarks that you'd also be sharing with us based on the presentation and the experiences from your end in Cote d'Ivoire. So back to you, Mr. Kone. I would want to find out, with your experience in vocational education, what innovative practices have you observed or implemented that significantly enhance the relevance and the quality of TVET program in Cote d'Ivoire, and also picking a bit from Mr. Bizune's presentation in the case of Ethiopia as well. So you might want to go ahead, Mr. Kone, if you can hear us.
Merci infiniment. Sacrifier la tradition, hein, remercier M. Bizone pour la qualité de sa conférence, de sa communication. Ça, je pense que c'est quelque chose d'indéniable et on y apprend des choses extrêmement importantes. Ce qui m'a le plus frappé, c'est d'assortir le profil de carrière au recyclage. C'est bien un recyclage obligatoire comme conditionnalité pour le profil de carrière. Ça, c'est extrêmement important parce que c'est chose qu'on ne voit vraiment pas ailleurs. C'est-à-dire que pour pouvoir progresser, les enseignants doivent impérativement passer par l'inquiétude. C'est que tous les pays que M. Bisounet a présentés, on a l'Inde, l'Australie, la Malaisie, ce sont des pays fortement industrialisés. Or, la réalité de nos entités ici, c'est qu'on a affaire à des pays à dominante avec des économies informelles. Je prends le cas de la Côte d'Ivoire, c'est moins de 10% de formalité. Et dans ce cadre, comment on peut justement assortir ces conditions-là, de dire qu'il faut absolument un stage obligatoire, parce que les stages sont même pas suffisants pour les apprenants eux-mêmes d'abord. Ensuite, les formateurs, comment est-ce qu'on peut les mobiliser pour les intégrer justement dans un tel schéma? Je pense que là, c'est quelque chose qu'il faut essayer de voir parce que naturellement, nous, par exemple, aujourd'hui en Côte d'Ivoire, l'ambition, c'est de faire passer le système ETFP qu'on a détaché dès le début de la formation générale, de le faire passer aujourd'hui de 6% à 30% des effectifs du secondaire à l'horizon 2030. Ça, c'est un défi extrêmement important. Mais en même temps qu'on le fait, on se rend compte qu'il faut impérativement que le processus d'acquisition des compétences se fasse en entreprise et que la formation ne soit pas une formation purement théorique et qu'elle soit adossée à beaucoup de pratiques. Dans le schéma initial, les autorités ont vite compris ça et puis on s'est dit, mais écoutez, on va faire une formation professionnelle, technique, mais il faudrait qu'on se donne les moyens. Donc, par exemple, l'Institut pédagogique national de l'enseignement technique de la formation professionnelle, on a 4 niveaux de recrutement des enseignants. On a le recrutement au niveau des IAFPB, donc les instructeurs adjoints de formation de base, qu'on recrute avec un niveau CAP, à qui on demande d'avoir au moins 2 à 3 années d'expérience professionnelle, sans oublier que dans les établissements, il y a ce qu'on a appelé des ateliers d'application. De la même façon, on a les instituteurs de formation professionnelle de base qu'on recrute avec le CAP plus le BT. Et le BT, la soutenance du brevet de technicien est donc adossée à la soutenance d'un mémoire, d'un rapport de stage. C'est-à-dire que la volonté de professionnaliser l'enseignement est existante. Et par le corps des professeurs de plus avoir un BTS qui lui-même aussi est sanctionné par un stage en entreprise. Et puis, on a les professeurs de lycée. Et pour eux, quand on recrute avec un niveau master, c'est là où la problématique du chômage endémique des jeunes nous rattrape. Est-ce qu'ils ont l'expérience professionnelle qu'il faut avec un master? Est-ce que c'est pour travailler dans l'informel, dans des domaines de compétences spécifiques? Là, déjà, on commence à avoir les premières grosses difficultés. Et peut-être qu'à ce stade-là, qu'est-ce qu'on pourrait trouver? Il y a un vaste programme de formalisation de l'économie qui est en cours, mais c'est surtout comment articuler les systèmes de formation formels et informels pour offrir plus d'opportunités. Et ça, c'est en lien avec même la structure même de notre économie. C'est qu'il y a un déficit au niveau du tissu économique. Ça, c'est très clair. Maintenant, pour ce qui est de l'intégration de l'IA, de tout ce qui va aujourd'hui avec la 4e révolution industrielle, il y a un développement des partenariats qui est en train de se faire. Et ce partenariat, par exemple, conduit l'ITNEP, dans le cadre de la coopération avec Koika, donc la Corée du Sud, à aller vers le développement d'un hub center qui permettrait de faire des formations hybrides et qui permettrait d'aller vers plus de simulateurs. Et dans le même temps, le processus de rééquipement des ateliers est en cours. Il y a une coopération avec la GIZ allemande dans le cadre du projet Amuga sur les poids lourds. On essaie d'aller vraiment vers des choses techniques. Ça, c'est des choses qui sont en cours. Mais vous voyez que donc, il y a le profil d'entrée qui, dès le début, a été pensé pour tenir compte de cette nécessaire professionnalisation des enseignants. Donc, il fallait prendre des gens, des professionnels l'assouplissement qui est en train de se faire parce qu'il faut intégrer. Et donc, le politique commence à jouer dans ce sens. Donc ça m'amène à rentrer de plein pied dans l'actualité actuelle, qui est la question même du recyclage des connaissances. Donc, comment actualiser les connaissances? Et donc, ça va aller vers les stages en entreprise pour les enseignants de l'ETFP. Et ça, c'est vraiment pour résoudre des questions d'adéquation, formation, emploi. Et dans son intervention, Monsieur Azoumé nous a bien montré qu'il y avait quand même des niveaux d'intervention. Il y avait un niveau politique. Et donc, nous, aujourd'hui, en Côte d'Ivoire, on regarde cette question-là. C'est la question du développement et de l'actualisation même des curricula. Et il faut pouvoir ajuster les programmes globaux de formation TVET. Et dans ce cadre, qu'est-ce qui a été fait? Le constat, c'est qu'on a observé qu'il y a toujours un décalage structurel entre les curricula qui sont développés et les besoins des entreprises. Donc, le système de formation court toujours après l'entreprise. C'est dit, on ne peut pas le résorber seul. Et qu'est-ce qu'il faut faire? Et donc, il y a eu au niveau un partenariat école-entreprise qui a commencé à être institué au début des années 2010, en 2009-2010, de sorte qu'aujourd'hui, il y a un comité paritaire de pilotage du partenariat privé-public entre l'école et l'entreprise qui est en marche. Et puis, on s'est dit, parallèlement à ça, il faut regarder les secteurs porteurs et voir comment on ajuste les curricula à l'économie. Et donc, dans ce sens, l'économie a été structurée en 13 branches professionnelles pour essayer d'aller vers, vers beaucoup plus de pragmatisme. Et là, il y a un arrêté qui a été pris, puisque la question elle est hautement politique, un arrêté portant organisation et donc fonctionnement de ces branches professionnelles qui, dans leur opérationnalisation, sont allés vers 4 organes. Il y a des comités de branches professionnelles qui donc vont discuter au niveau de chaque branche quels doivent être les contenus des programmes à dispenser. Il y a des commissions professionnelles consultatives permanentes qui vont réfléchir à la question. Et puis, on aura une coordination donc de ces commissions professionnelles consultatives permanentes. Donc, on a 4 organes qui vont régler. Et pour essayer d'arriver à une sorte d'ajustement en permanence donc des productions. Mais de ce que j'ai compris, il faut voir aussi les défis. C'est quelle opérationnalité des résultats qu'on obtient. Parce qu'il y a toujours un décalage.
Alors, Dr. Kone, vous avez juste 1 minute pour finaliser les points. Okay, at this point, I think we've lost Dr. Kone, unfortunately, but would like to, go ahead to wrap up on everything that has been discussed. And I would like to also share on his point about the skills gap, trying to bridge the gap between the industry and then the education, and as well as the competency of these teachers in training their students. So that is some very good points there from Côte d'Ivoire, and they've also wrapped in a lot of effort to be able to work and move around the space of TVET, which they do have a fixed period. So that is a good one. Hello, Mona. If I could see your hands up. At this point, I would want to go ahead with the open floor Q&A. I would like to bring in Mona here. Hello, Mona. Can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you, Debbie. Hi, Debbie.
Hello.
Yes, so I had a question for our presenter. Thanks again, Mr. Bezune. So I wanted to ask around the financing of such policies and initiatives, and whether he has any insights into really how do you convince policymakers to finance such initiatives? Because usually when we have discussions about some of these really innovative initiatives, whilst they appreciate it, a significant challenge is around how can they finance this, right? So I'd be interested in hearing Ethiopia's experience with financing this initiative. And also in terms of whether there was any pushback from TVET teachers and trainers themselves when this was initially rolled out, or was this widely welcomed?
Okay, thank you so much, Mona. Mr. Bizune, you have the floor to respond and also to contribute towards the question from Mona. Can you kindly unmute yourself and...
Okay. Thank you, Mona. This teachers industry attachment has no this much high amount of financing. Normally, we are trying now to implement in our TVET Institute is by win-win approach, because the
I think we are losing
Mona?
Bizone. Hello, Dr. Murray.
Yeah, you know that there is a poor network in Ethiopia. So because of that, there may be some interruption here. Just to understand us. Okay.
That's fine. Thank you. Thank you for clarifying that. So while we wait on Mr. Bizone to come back in and to continue his points based on the question, I would want to find out if the floor is open for, extra Q&A. It could be addressed now in the meeting and also could be addressed right after the meeting as well. So the floor is open. We have just 2 minutes. And if there are any question, you can use the button or the reaction button to raise your hands, or you can go ahead and unmute yourself to speak. The floor is open.
Debbie, perhaps our panelist from Cote d'Ivoire could share his thoughts on my earlier questions.
Our panelist from Cote d'Ivoire, that is Dr. Kone.
Yes,
might want to come to also, yes, to also share his point on it. But before I do, I would want to go ahead to read a question that we have. Is there a question or a comment that we have from Haptamo? And he's saying that I would like to hear from Mr. Bizune regarding incentives that could encourage teacher industry attachment. For example, in Ethiopia, is there any incentive in terms of higher wages or other forms for teachers who have experienced work in other industry? So I would like to leave this question open and would at the moment wait for, okay, it's getting more interactive. We have another from Madina. Okay, so Madina would like to know, for Ethiopia's TVET system, what is it hinged on, given the experiences shared from other countries? Okay. Benchmarking in particular. Okay, that's a good one. So would like to leave that open too for Mr. Bizune. But if he is not coming in yet, we assure you that these questions are going to be answered, outputs and whatever outcomes that came from today's discussion is going to be shared after the meeting, as well as some interesting insights would also be featured on the ACET website. Would also be sharing some post-event survey for us all to fill and share our experiences as to whether the event was okay, if there's anything we'd have to work around for the upcoming, the next learning series that would be happening within this quarter as well. So leaving these questions open, now that we do not have Mr. Bizune in, I would like to rope in Dr. Kone for just a few minutes, about 2 minutes, for him to share. Okay, we have another question from Festus Longmate, and he is saying that, is there a deliberate attempt to integrate TVET into foundational learning in Ethiopia as a means of making TVET attractive to the future leaders? Wow, very good questions. It's getting very interactive. So at this point, I'd like to rope in Dr. Kone to come in a bit for him to share with us any thoughts he has regarding the questions that are being asked as well, especially from Mona when it comes to experience in financing. How has Ethiopia done it? But this time, we'd like to hear also from Cote d'Ivoire's perspective, how have they done it? If we have Dr. Kone here, can he unmute himself? Dr. Kone, can you kindly unmute yourself and speak within just 2 minutes so we can just wrap up quickly and close today's learning series? Hello, Dr. Kone, can you hear us?
Debbie, I think we lost Dr. Kone as well, but Mr. Bezina is back. So.
Okay. So we're having another question. Okay. So Mr. Bizune is in. Mr. Bizune,
yes.
We lost you at the point of, speaking on the experiences in financing, the TVET in Ethiopia. So you might want to go ahead from here.
Okay, thank you. Mainly, as we know...
And sorry, we have just 2 minutes to do that. So you might want to wrap up on that a bit. Thank you.
May I continue?
Please do.
Okay. On financing TVET, especially this teachers industry attachment, as I have tried to say, the TVET teachers industry attachment by itself is the win-win approach, because the teachers themselves can able to get an opportunity to work with the industries and an opportunity to show their skill, talent, and the potentialities. So by doing that, some of them even can able to generate some finance from that attachment. As an institute, the institute support the this internship program and also the teachers industry attachment by paying them, by facilitating transportation, and also by at least the minimum of paying for lunch. There is no this much large money invested on this teachers industry attachment. So the financing, as my experience, the financing is not this much strong problem, especially on this teachers industry attachment. Even it is not like that of the trainees, because the teachers have some skills, some knowledge, even have attitude. In some cases, even they are able to train the industry workers. Even some are producing or maintaining different parts of different machineries broken or not working in the industry. So the industries are also interested with them, so they can able to get some additional income. So the finance issue in Ethiopia, this.
Okay, so the second question from Mona also had to do with, has there been any pushback from the teachers within the space? Has there been any pushback in terms of Ethiopia? You might want to address that a bit. Mr. Bizene?
Yes, but I do not heard another question, only the financing issue.
Okay. Mona, please, would you want to come in a bit with the question?
Yes, sure. So, Mr. Bezina, I was wondering whether when this initiative was rolled out, whether you had any pushback from the TVET teachers or trainers themselves, or was this initiative welcomed? Have you had any pushback from them?
Especially this teachers industry attachment is normally initiated by different parties, mainly currently the World Bank. The World Bank project, this STRIP project for whom I'm working now, is among the initiating organization or project. This is the project which push even where we are developing even the guideline for this institute and pushing that also to the ministerial level. And now even the Ministry of Labor and the Skills have started implementing it. Again, the GTZ is also currently on supporting this initiative. The GTZ is also on even paying teachers to motivate some teachers to go for industry attachment. They are trying also to pay some amount of money, what I've said, for teachers and send them to the industry, and also to motivate industries. They are trying also to pay a minimum amount of payment which covers some inputs while they are producing some products. So the initiation is currently already gone for the ministerial level, but first the TVET strip project and also the GTZ are the forefront of the this project, this industrial attachment activities.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Bizune. Such great answers. Mona, I believe you would have gotten some answers to the question, the two questions. So at this point, we have, if you should look on your screen, you'll be seeing an ACET satisfactory survey popping up. So you might just want to go ahead without a waste of time, just about a minute to click and, share your honest reviews as well. So at this point, I would like to rope in Dr. Amare. Dr. Amare is the lead researcher at the Policy Studies Institute in Ethiopia and also the head of Industry Development Policy Study Center since 2014. Currently, he's the coordinator of Industrial, Urban, and Infrastructure Policy Study and Research Center. He has also obtained a PhD degree and master's degree in industrial engineering from Addis Ababa University, and he has also obtained a bachelor's degree in textile engineering from the Baheda University. Dr. Amare has widely published in the areas of productivity, quality, and performance of manufacturing industry, technology development, skills and employment, private sector development, and SME. I'd like to go on and on, but at this juncture, I'm introducing Dr. Amare to actually give us the closing remarks to today's YES-PACT Learning Series. So, Dr. Amare, if you can hear us, you might want to take the floor now within the next 5 minutes to give us a very quick, interesting, and short closing remarks.
Okay. Yeah, of course. Thank you, Deborah. Thank you, Mona. So it may be difficult to summarize the issues in this very short time. Anyway, just I would like to thank all participants and for presenting such a kind of very important agenda. As you know, TVET teachers' competency greatly influences the effectiveness of the TVET system as a whole. So transforming system means, so because TVET teachers' roles is very high, they're critical, and they play a critical role. That's why it's essential to focus on the quality and the competency of TVET teachers in TVET institutions. I think I'd like also to thank the YES-PACT chapter and the team members there, because this YES-PACT chapter serves as a peer learning platform, bringing together all policymakers and key stakeholders, that is to share knowledge and to learn to each other the experiences, the global experiences and the experiences of each of us in Africa. So that is very essential, and thank you for that. Today's session that's focused on the TVET teacher industry attachment which is presented by Mr. Buzuna. I think it is helpful, as I have said already. So he already mentioned very critical issues, like, for example, just to mention, nowadays, recently, the target is shifted to the completion rate and the job creation rate. That's very essential, especially relating to the fourth industrial technology, just to cope up with that. So because of that, TVET teachers need to have they should equip themselves with practical skills, especially. They should work with industries daily so that they can be equipped in practical skills that they lack, and they can also give their practical skills and industry experience for their students if they do so. So this TVET teachers attachment is very important in that aspect. He also mentioned that especially the TVET practitioners, trainers play a critical role as a connective specialist. So this is very essential and it's important. So he has also given us the global experience, especially German. They are following dual system. Of course, they are effective. The German system is very effective. And Ethiopia also tried to take some experience from German system. That's good experience. And he also mentioned the Ethiopian experience, especially Ethiopia has produced the guideline for TVET teachers attachment, TVET teachers industry attachment. That's good starting. So they already do more than 2,600 TVET teachers attachment in 9 months. That's good. They also prepare implementable schemes. That's also a good start. So anyway, in general, institutionalizing this TVET industry attachment, TVET teachers industry attachment is very essential. I think that's a good lesson for today. Institutionalization or creating a system is very essential. And finally, I hope the participants have got some lesson from this discussion, from this forum, and I hope they have got some lesson that they can use in the future when they are working with this agenda, with the TVET teachers competency. So as a country, as anchor institutions, PSI, we'd like to continue our contribution for YES-PACT, especially in this YES-PACT Learning Series. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Amari Matei-Bokassa, who is with the Policy Studies Institute in Ethiopia, and also the focal person and the head for the Ethiopia YES-PACT chapter. At this point, I want to say a very big thank you to you all, to everyone, to everyone from the 6-country YES-PACT chapter. And also special thanks to our speaker, Mr. Bizune Adugna, and also to Dr. Kone Kokos-Siaka, and to Dr. Mari yourself. And finally, to everyone here in-house from ACET. Also a very special thanks to Mona Idrisu, who is the head of Youth Employment and Skills here in ACET, for helping to put all this together. It was a great learning experience for us all. And I would like to assure everyone that all the questions that were asked are going to be addressed by our panelists, and we're going to be sharing all the outputs and responses that we'll be getting from these questions with them. The survey popped up some few minutes ago. If you still have it on your screen, you might want to still go ahead to fill that up and share your honest review and response, and any way, we can work around doing this a better event in the next upcoming learning series within this quarter. I understand our Francophone partners lost the interpreter at some point. We do apologize to you, and we'll be sharing bits and insights of the events with you as well. Thank you so much, and I would like to call it a day. Thank you, everyone, and have a lovely day. Bye.